Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Azimah Merti Muhammad Ali. My mention number is 67990. Today I will be presenting on Bryophyte plant. Bryophyte is tiny plant, but incredible important plant. And also talking about their trait which have they face and how we can conserve them, and some recommendation for their protection. Next, what is Bryophyte? Bryophyte are non-vascular plant, which means they don't have roots like most other plant. Instead, they absorb water directly through their surface. There are three main types of Bryophyte, which is mosses, liverworts, and hornwort. Despite their small size, Bryophyte play vital ecology roles. They help retain water and stabilize the soil, making them important for land conservation. They also store carbon and climate, helping to fight climate change, and they provide microhabitat for insect and microbe. Next, threat to Bryophyte. However, Bryophyte face several serious threats. Firstly, habitat loss, which is major issue. As forests are clearer and urban areas expand, Bryophyte lose their natural environments. Second, climate change bring hotter and drier conditions that many Bryophyte species cannot survive. Third, pollution, especially in the air and water, can be deadly to this sensitive plant. And finally, human collection, whether for decoration, science, or gardening, also reduce their population, especially rare species. And next, how can we protect them? So what we can do to protect Bryophyte? There are several practical actions that we can take. Firstly, protect their habitat. This means conserving forests and wetland. Second, grow them in lab, which is help us preserve species outside their natural habitat. Third, create and enforce law to prevent the overharvesting of rare Bryophyte. And finally, we must educate other people. By raising awareness, we can build more public support for their conservation. Next, for conservation strategy, there are two main strategies in this conservation. Firstly, in situ conservation, which means protecting them in their natural habitat through protected areas and habitat restoration. Second, ex situ conservation, which involves taking species out of their natural habitat and protecting them in controlled environment like seed bank and botanical garden. Besides, we also need policy and legislation such as including Bryophyte on the IUCN Red List and creating public awareness program like citizen science project where regular people can contribute to conservation research. And next, what is ex situ conservation? Ex situ literally means outside their natural home. For Bryophyte, this might involve storing their spores in seed bank or cultivating them in the botanical garden. This method is particularly useful for species that are already at risk of extinction in the wild. And next, for recommendation to improve our conservation effort, I recommend to follow this step. Firstly, expand protected area, especially in Bryophyte risk region. Second, support and farm ex situ program like spore banks and lab cultivation. Third, develop climate adaptation strategy to protect species vulnerable to temperature and moisture change. And next, engage local community through workshop and citizen science to build grassroots support. And finally, invest in more research, especially in Bryophyte species that are still poorly understood. In conclusion, Bryophytes may be small, but they are ecologically powerful. They help balance our ecosystem, support biodiversity, and even fight climate change. However, They are vulnerable to human activity, pollution, and climate change. And next, this is a reference that I found. That's all for me. Thank you.